As we welcome you to a very special edition of LMC Varsity Sports here on LMC-TV, I am Seth Rothman. Now, we have had a number of games this weekend canceled, postponed, rained out. As you know by now, it has been raining the entire week. We have had every game we've tried to film rained out. So instead, what we are going to bring you today is a playoff preview show for Mamaroneck boys and girls lacrosse. The Mamaroneck boys lacrosse team is the number 8 seed. They will play the number 9 seed North Rockland. That's going to be a 7 p.m. start on Thursday. The Mamaroneck girls lacrosse team facing off against Wappingers. Now that's a merged team between John Jay East Fishkill and R.C. Ketchum High School. That game will be at 4:30 p.m. on Thursday. You can see both of those games next weekend here on LMC Varsity Sports. So what we're going to do, we're going to bring you some interviews. We will talk to a number of players on both teams. We'll talk to the two coaches on both teams. We're going to start with the boys lacrosse team, and we're going to start by showing you a few of the highlights from the games that we have brought to you this season. We brought you a number of their games this year. Some of them have been quite close. Some of them have been quite good. And so we will bring you a few shots, a few highlights from each of those games, and then we'll come back here and we will talk to some of their participants about how they want to play against North Rockland in the first round of the Section 1 playoffs. All that's coming up on the LMC-TV Lacrosse Playoff Preview Show right now on LMC Varsity Sports. The boys lacrosse season is now underway here at Mamaroneck, and the opening faceoff right in the middle of the M. Robbie Harris tries pushing it ahead, and it's taken by Connor Ferguson. Ferguson moves it ahead. Out in front, they scored! Scott Greenberg puts it in from Mamaroneck, and the Tigers off to a quick 1-0 start. Clark out in front. Greenberg has a hat trick in the first quarter. The sophomore, Scott Greenberg, with 3 first-quarter goals. And Mamaroneck leads 4-0, a minute and 17 left to go in the quarter.
1:17 remaining in the first quarter. The tip from number 12, Clark. The third goal from Scott Greenberg for the first hat trick on the new Memorial Field. Number 28, Scott Greenberg.
Mamaroneck wins it 16-3 as they go over to Simon Cantwell to celebrate a big win here on opening night. Back to McKeon. The movement without the ball by Mamaroneck, and Conley puts it in. Peter Conley, what a rip off the crossbar. And Mamaroneck finally puts one in, and they trail now 3-1. Caleb's been stopping them all quarter long. Out in front, not anymore. Grant Wiener. 3:10 left to go in the quarter. Mamaroneck finally puts it in. It's Grant Wiener who does the honors. There's Connor Ferguson. Ball pops out of his stick. But Ferguson gets it back and scores! Mamaroneck putting it together here late in the fourth quarter. 2 goals in 13 seconds. Mamaroneck's deficit down to 1. It's 8-7. Stephen Clark with 19 seconds left. Clark nearly gets pushed out of bounds, able to get it off to Brian Schiff with 13 seconds left. Schiff makes the pass. Greenberg. Wiener, drive, save made! Michaela able to make the save. Conley swings behind the net. Places with Greenberg as Conley tries getting out in front, and Conley scores! My goodness, I think he put that one in from behind his back. And Mamaroneck ties the game at 1. What a fantastic goal by Peter Conley. Dominant defensive effort by White Flames. They allow only 2 Mamaroneck goals. They get 5 of their own from Michael Trapp, and they win it by a 6-2 final. Greenberg moves it back to Clark. Conley back to Clark. Got Greenberg. Cutting in with Conley, he scores! Peter Conley with 7:26 left in the quarter puts Mamaroneck ahead, and they get the game's first goal. Scarsdale was offside, so Mamaroneck will take it. This is Ferguson, the drive, he scores! Connor Ferguson walks in and puts it in for Mamaroneck. The long pole ties the game at 2. Mamaroneck with possession. 7:17 left to go in the quarter. Here's Ferguson. He scores! An athletic goal by Connor Ferguson, who lost his stick in the process and still put it in. Scotty Greenberg, that shot, they scored! Scotty Greenberg puts Mamaroneck on top with 3:38 left in the fourth quarter. All right, back on the lacrosse playoff preview show. The boys lacrosse team will be facing off against North Rockland tomorrow in a game you can see next weekend here on LMC Varsity Sports, joined now by Josh Trachtenberg. And Josh, 8-8 on the season. How do you evaluate how this regular season went?
I think we're doing pretty well. You know, we're clicking at the right time. We started off a little slow. I think we're about 5-7, but recently we've been clicking, and I think we're heading in the right direction for playoffs.
Probably your bellwether game this season coming against Bronxville, a game that you won in overtime. Is that a kind of game where you can take something out of that game and use it in these playoffs?
Yeah, we think Bronxville's as good as anyone in the section, and we know if we can beat them, we can play with anyone. So we use that as, like, if we play how we did that day, well, no one should beat us.
Now, North Rockland, a team that beat you guys at Mamaroneck earlier on in this season. What did you learn from that game that you can use for this game coming up?
Well, I mean, we learned some basic sets that they run, but we also learned that, like, they can play. You know, this is motivation. We're going to come out and give our all. We were missing some players, like defenseman Sam Christensen was missing. He's a big part of our defense, and I think we know what to expect out of them, and I think we'll be able to execute.
Is it extra motivation playing them, knowing that they beat you already once?
Yeah, revenge is nice. You know, we also have said when we lost, we're like, we hope we get this team again, you know, because we thought we could take them, and yeah, hopefully it'll go better this time around.
How nice is it to get that, home game and to be able to play at night in the second game of a doubleheader?
It's awesome. You know, I'm looking forward to it. I didn't get to play in any of the Underlakes game this year, and it should be a lot of fun. Hopefully the weather will be nice and everyone will come out. It'll be a good atmosphere.
Back with Connor Ferguson here on the LMC-TV Varsity Sports Lacrosse Playoff Preview Show. And Connor, obviously practicing today in not great weather conditions, but how important for the team was it to go out and practice today outside versus having to stay inside?
I thought it was real important to get game-like situation, considering it's supposed to be raining tomorrow as well. Try to get our sticks ready, how we're going to play in the rain, and get all our fundamentals down so we know we can do them in the game.
What are some of the things you guys need to work on before that game tomorrow?
Definitely get our defense down on their slides, and got to get our offense to finish on their shots and get it around the goal and try to finish their everything.
North Rockland, a team that you guys have obviously played earlier on in the season, and they beat you. Do you take any extra motivation from that game?
Yeah, I do, actually. I was very upset because I have a few friends on that team, and I was very upset that we lost that game. And I just want to – it's a little bit of revenge for us. I hope we get to win this game tomorrow, and I'm really excited to play.
Now, tomorrow, obviously, the second game of a doubleheader, another game under the lights. Is that also kind of a motivating factor for you guys?
Yeah, playing under the lights is a big deal for us. I've never had that before. Maybe I think once my freshman year I got to play under the lights, so now having that is a huge thing to get excited for, and I love the atmosphere it brings.
All right, back now with Ryan McNally of the Mamaroneck boys lacrosse team on the lacrosse playoff preview show. The Tigers are going to be facing North Rockland tomorrow under the lights at 7 p.m. And Ryan, what were some of the things you guys had to work on today?
It was just a big deal to just get outside and play. The six-man is always is a big deal just to get the game-like situations down. Just to get intense for this game tomorrow, just the whole atmosphere around this was a big part because you can't go into this game cold. You have to get in warm like we did today. And now you guys do get to work at it, and you faced North Rockland already this season. Can you take stuff out of that game in terms of what you know about them that can help you tomorrow? Yeah, there's a lot we can take out of that. We've been watching film. We've tried to right the mistakes of the last game, and just in total that we're in section playoffs. We're at home. We get a chance to beat them again or beat them for the first time this season at our own field. That's motivation enough to take this game.
The 8 seed, 8-8 on the season. How do you evaluate how this season has gone for you?
The 8 seed's just perfect for us. We've always been trying to fight up from this season. We've had a lot of adversity. The injuries have been a big deal for us. Just us been fighting up, taking what life gives us and trying to right that. That's the 8th seed. I think what we want in this tournament and what should motivate us again to get further in the playoffs, just as this whole season has been for us.
You guys obviously had a higher seed last year than you had this year, but obviously a much harder schedule this year. Even though it is the 8 seed, is this still kind of a step up?
I mean, yeah, this year I think just playing like the competition that we've had this year is a step up from last year, just because we get to see a wide range of teams. We don't have to play down at all. We can challenge ourselves. We can go out of state and play some games. We can play the best teams in the section and best teams in New York, and I wouldn't trade that for anything.
All right, back now with Mike Shapiro and George Sheehan. Mike, 8-8 on the season. How do you evaluate how this season has gone so far?
Well, I mean, it's different compared to last year, but this year I think since we've had better quality games, it's expected. But like if we would have had a season like last year, it's just we had easy games throughout the whole season, then we come up and lose against Brewster, which I mean we shouldn't have done, but it prepares us better for those games in the playoffs.
George, I know a season where you have played some really talented teams. To beat, Bronxville after losing to this North Rockland team, can you take more away from one game or the other?
What we've learned is that we fluctuate with how our offense performs, and offense makes the game. When the offense, it's a young offense as opposed to last year where we had mostly seniors. This year it's a heavy sophomore group. When we step up, we can play with the big boys.
And Mike, obviously this is a North Rockland team that has beaten you guys. Do you take any extra motivation from that game?
Yeah, I do. Actually, we got a friend on there who last night actually wrote, it's like, all right, guys, let's do it upset again on Marinick. And I'm just like, definitely not happening again. This is definitely not happening. We're going to come out strong tomorrow night, and we're gonna win. George,
how important is it to get off to a really fast start tomorrow?
For us, it's big. We need to come out of the gate hard charging. We need to put them on their butts.
All right, back now with Coach Jeff Barnard of this Mamaroneck boys lacrosse team, 8-8 on the season. Coach, how do you evaluate how this season has gone so far?
We've definitely had our ups and downs over the course of the season, it's kind of how it goes, I guess. And we certainly were striving to have much more ups than downs, and but we've had a few setbacks. We had some injuries and so forth, but I don't want to make any excuses. We made some mistakes, and the nice thing about this season is, in terms of our league at least, we've had an opportunity to play opponents twice, and we did pretty well in the league, really only losing to White Plains and Bronxville once.
Now, obviously, this is a team, by what you said to us, a little bit inconsistent. Is that kind of a thing where you can talk to the team about how to make sure that they're playing at their best tomorrow night?
Absolutely. In terms of preparation, what we did is the kids have all seen, videotape on North Rockland already. We did that yesterday. We talked about some of their plays, some of the things that we've seen them do, all we can do is really emphasize players and prepare in terms of what we need to do to win, and also what we're going to see defensively and how to react defensively from some of the things that they do.
Now, obviously, North Rockland, a team that did beat you guys. I know you said that you've been looking at some tape, but is it more of a motivational factor for you, or is it also kind of a thing where you can better prepare for them because you've already played them?
I think that we can better prepare for them, but it's funny how that kind of works. Is one player may have a breakout game, and one that you expect not to do real well might not do so well. And so all we can do is really prepare the best that we can, and I think that we've done that. We're continuing to do that. We're going to do it before the game tomorrow as well, and at the same time we're trying to really perfect what we've been working on, which is just playing better and getting in our offensive sets, our plays, and running through them, and everything from the back end, from goalies all the way up to the front. So that's really it. Is just preparation, and tomorrow's really about it's about executing. I thought the last time we played them, we came out kind of flat, to be honest. We did have some key injuries with Sam Christensen out, Josh Trachtenberg out. A couple other kids banged up, and those guys are real crucial. Since Josh has been back, he's put the ball in the back of the net for us a number of times, and having Sam Christensen back there is always a good thing. So we came out of the gate real slow last time we played them. They got 3 very quick goals against us, and that was part of the difference. And hopefully from the onset we can play good defense and take advantage of opportunities on the offensive end in terms of finishing our shots. It's really been our problem offensively. Is not getting looks is fine, but we've gotten a lot of them. It's just really putting them in the back of the net lately. The kids have gotten so much better. It's just executing those shots and putting them in the back of the net.
And obviously you've had some games that have been better than others, and I guess that Bronxville win comes to mind. Do you remind the kids about a game like that, or do you just sort of make sure that to try to help them play a little bit better tomorrow?
We certainly do. I kind of remind them from time to time, and one of the things is that it's a little proof that you can pass through. It's a little proof that they can play with anybody, and they played some two pretty good out-of-state teams and a Long Island team, and part of our problem is we've kind of risen up when we play a lot tougher competition and kind of slacked off a little bit. And as much as we try to motivate them, and we really try to get them going. Sometimes they've slacked off a little bit, but it's one of these things. Is I talk about 3 seasons with them, one being preseason, one being the main season, and one being the postseason, which we're in now, which is obviously the playoffs. And being able to execute there is even more important because obviously it's you either win or you're done, and so that's been very important for us.
And obviously, Coach, your team last year you had a higher seed. This year you've got the number 8 seed. Is this team, though, because of the teams that you played, is this team a better team? Are you happier with how this season has gone versus last year?
Yeah, quite honestly, I actually am. We've had some lesser experienced kids in terms of just their age, really, on the offensive end. And watching them get better and better over the course of the season is really unique. These kids have also worked inordinately hard. Not that the group last year, they were phenomenal as well. They worked very hard. And, going from a 2nd seed last year to an 8 seed this year, it's just, it's really just a numbers game these days with the number of wins, but it's, and a couple other factors mixed in there. But we had a lot of wins last year, but the wins were not against all of those wins were not against the best competition out there. And one of the things I did as a coach is I kind of sacrificed that a little bit and played 2 out-of-state games, 2 games at Connecticut, that don't really count for us towards sectionals. So we knew that going in that we were going to lose some points just for playing some really good teams. And to me, that we gain points for that because then at least preparation-wise we're there. And ultimately, to win sectionals, where it really matters is you got to get through everybody. So my philosophy is preparation is the key. And so why not play? Why not go out there and try to find some really good competition? And we have very good competition in the section as well. But it's nice for the kids actually to travel a little bit together and get that kind of camaraderie on a long bus trip. And it's always exciting to play a team from out of state. So there's that piece of it too. Probably next year we might look in the section a little bit to boost our points up because, like you said, we do go from a 2 to an 8 seed.
All right, so one more time, the boys facing off against North Rockland. That will be a 7 p.m. start on Thursday. Let's go over to the girls' side as the girls' lacrosse team 8-6-2 on the season. 2 ties, 1 against Scarsdale, 1 against Edgemont. They've also beaten both of those teams this season later on in the year. Let's take a look at some of the highlights of some of the games that we've brought to you from this girls' lacrosse season this season here on LMC Varsity Sports, and we'll come back from that with some interviews with some of the players after their very wet practice on this Wednesday afternoon in Mamaroneck. Good pass back to Megan Fitzgerald. Right out in front, they scored! Fitzgerald does it herself, and Mamaroneck ties the game at 1. 20-23 left to go in the first half. Behind the net to Lauren Rush. Under 6 minutes left to go, first half. Out in front, Abby Bagelman scores again. It is 10 unanswered goals by the Tigers. And with 5:49 left to go in the first half and counting, Mamaroneck has an 11-2 lead.
25 minutes on the clock and we are underway. Tigers on the offensive again. Kayla Robinson passes it over. Now forced to back off as Stephanie Banks. She passes and score! And now a score! Molly Cohen makes it a 10-8 Tiger lead. Now Looks like they heard some thunder, so the refs are talking it over, and they are going to stop play. So we'll leave you for now. If they continue, we'll have the rest of the game for you. For now, we're stopped because of some thunder and lightning. Now to Rush with 43 to play. Ball knocked away, Edgemont ball. Knocked away again, Mamaroneck with it. Shot, score! Stephanie Banks with the game-tying goal with 35 seconds on the clock.
Jessica Gardner quickly through midfield. Gardner drives right to the net, and Jessica Gardner puts it in. Rush plays it behind the net. Lauren Rush cuts in, Rush puts it in. Lauren Rush, in the first 9 minutes of the game, already has 3 goals. Abby Bagelman creates the turnover, drives in, and scores! Abby Bagelman does it all herself, creates the turnover, drives in, and puts it in for Mamaroneck. She now has 3 first-half goals. Oh, Tigers, the 500 record, 6-6-2, looking to improve to over 500. Lauren Rush swings in and scores. Mamaroneck first on the board, 30 seconds in, it's Lauren Rush. Out in front it comes. Mackenzie Bird, her first goal of the game. It's 11-6, Mamaroneck. Bagelman back to Rush. She loses it, picks it back up with 8 seconds. Lauren Rush has 6 seconds, needs to find somebody. Dumps it off, they scored! Abby Bagelman with 3 seconds left. Mamaroneck has the lead at 16-15. Back here on the lacrosse playoff preview show, joined now by Lauren Rush of the girls lacrosse team. And Lauren, 8-6-2 on the season. How do you evaluate how this season went?
Well, we started off playing some teams that we kind of easily beat, and then as we got into the harder part of our season, we tied 2 crucial games against Edgemont and Scarsdale, but then we came back to beat both of those teams later on in the season, which really helped us into sectionals.
Day before the playoffs began, obviously the weather not what you would hope for today. How important was it to practice outside and not have to go inside today?
Well, it was really good because we got to practice with like the goal, and inside you can never really get the same shots on the goal. The floor is obviously not grass or turf, but and the spacing is obviously different, and we really needed to work on everything that we worked on today, so we were happy to be outside, even though it was raining.
Now, obviously, playoffs starting tomorrow. You're playing Wapmangers. I know you guys don't know much about them. When that is the case, do you just focus more on your own game versus what you need to do to beat them?
Yeah, definitely. We just have to do all the little things right and keep all of our stick skills in check, even though if whatever the weather is tomorrow, we're just going to come prepared with all of our heads in the game.
Now, tomorrow, obviously, the first step, but to get that home game as the first playoff game, is that sort of a motivating factor for you guys too?
Yeah, definitely. I was really happy that we got a home game because we can have our fans there and we know the field and we're comfortable playing on our home turf.
All right, back now with Sara Hofmann on the lacrosse playoff preview show. Sara, 8-6-2 on the season. We talked to Lauren about it too. How do you evaluate your senior season?
I think that we played very well my senior season, but we definitely came into the season with very easy games we were able to beat, and as we moved through our season, we played harder teams, and we were able to pick up our game after 2 ties to Scarsdale and Edgemont to finally beat them and end on a good note.
No, I mean, you guys have played a lot of really close games as the season's gone on. Can that help you as the playoffs come up now?
Definitely, I know that with those games, we know when we need to turn it on, when we need to pressure and push ourselves to be the best we can be, and finally, win those tough games.
A doubleheader with you and the boys. Are you going to be watching the boys' game after your game?
I mean, probably. It depends on if they come out and support us, but definitely. There are other teams, so definitely they need the support too.
What are some of the things that you guys needed to work on today as you prepare for this game tomorrow?
Definitely we worked on doubling the ball and sliding, which is something that we really need to work on, and today we pretty much perfected it, so hopefully tomorrow we can come out and bring what we practiced today.
All right, back here on LMC Varsity Sports, a special edition of LMC Varsity Sports. Jessica Corbin joining us now. And Jessica, an 8-6-2 season, is it a good season and not as good season? Was it kind of where you guys expected it to be?
I think that we did play some easy teams and some hard teams, and obviously you can't win everything, but I think we definitely came out and did our best, and I'm happy with the wins and losses that we have.
Now, playing so many close games as you did, tying twice, beating Scarsdale by 1 goal, how much can those close games really help you guys as you move toward the playoffs now?
I think that we're ready to compete with anybody. We know what it's like to be in like a high-stress situation, and we know that when we face it again in sectionals, obviously it's going to be stressful, and we can definitely handle it, and I think it helped.
Now, coming in tomorrow against Wappingers, you don't know much about them. What do you focus on personally as you move into that game tomorrow against a team that you don't know much about?
I think that there are definitely little skills and stuff that we needed to perfect that we did perfect today in practice, and we're going to come out and focus on our own things that we need to do and not really worry about what they're coming out doing, and just like play the best game we can and try to win.
How important was it to practice outside today? I know obviously the weather's not all that good, but to be able to work out outside, how important was that for the team today?
I think it was really important to be outside. We need to work. There are little things that we messed up in other games that are really important to win the games coming up, and by getting outside, we are able to work on those things.
All right, joined now by girls lacrosse coach Alexis Longhitano as we continue to preview this girls lacrosse playoff game against Wappingers Falls, a game you can see next weekend here on LMC Varsity Sports. And Coach, 8-6-2 on the season. How do you evaluate how this regular season went?
I'm really happy with the girls and the way that they've played. We've played some really difficult teams. We played Fox Lane, Nyack, Scarsdale, Edgemont. They've really competed against really skilled level teams. So I'm happy with their record as of now.
Now, obviously, you still have this playoff game coming up. Is it enough to get into the playoffs? I mean, what is sort of the expectation for this team right now?
Right now, we have to focus on our defense and making sure that we have a good team defense and everyone's communicating and sliding properly and seeing ball and girl, and that was our main focus for today. So hopefully tomorrow against, Wappinger Falls or any other team that we play, that they'd be able to do that in any game.
Obviously today practicing outside, even though the weather not very good, but what are some of the things that you really had to work on today?
Our focus right now is just being an aggressive team and playing every single practice as if it's a real game and reacting to every ball that's dropped and every ball that's shot on goal and to rebound that, and just having that mindset that every practice should be played like a game and that we're focusing on good speed, good intensity, and just heart.
All right, back here on LMC Varsity Sports. Boy, it was torrentially raining during practice, but those two teams, we talked about it with them, how important it is to make sure that they're out on the turf, getting that work in to prepare for the playoffs. For all they know, that could have been their final practice for each of these two teams of their season, so got to make sure that they get it in today. Once again, the girls playing at 4:30 against Wappingers, the boys playing at 7 o'clock against North Rockland. And again, this is a Mamaroneck team that actually lost to North Rockland here at Mamaroneck earlier on this season. They will look for some revenge under the lights at Memorial Field. That will do it for this boys and girls lacrosse preview show. The executive director at LMC-TV, Erik Lewis, the associate director, Jessica Pozzuoli, and I am the community sports producer. A big thank you to our cameraman, Stefan Martinez, for battling the torrential rain and filming some of that practice footage for you. We certainly thank him for that. Once again, coming up next weekend will be those two playoff lacrosse games. We will also have a couple of more games for you. Of course, if it doesn't rain, we will have some of those games for you. We will have Rhinebeck softball against Rye and Mamaroneck softball against Saunders. We hope to have both of those games for you next weekend as well. So coming up next weekend, lacrosse action, the girls and the boys. And we will see you then on LMC Varsity Sports.